Stop. Ugh.
It's been weird.
Hello. Saturday night. Welcome back. Doc Martin, how are you?
Well, I just couldn't be better. I'd be Frog's here. How you, Yankee?
I mark myself safe from Corona.
Well, you don't know that because it could be 14 days, member. But you know what? If we do, we do, and I'll just stay in and catch up on my politics for 14 days. How's that?
Oh boy, that means that inbox will be flooded.
It sure will. You give me time to research, honey. We'd never get to the end of my pile. I'm just saying.
Welcome aboard, everybody. RM Johns, Teddy Spaghetti. Oh, James R.
Hi,
How you doing, James?
Hey, Orion. How are you, honey? Hey, Scott. Fritzy. Glad to see everybody. We're so glad you could join us again because you know what? I don't care what the mainstream media wants to tell you. We're doing okay and we're going to be okay. We've got fine leadership. We've got strong, resilient people, and we've got the favor of the Lord at our backs. So everybody put your seatbelts on, drag your drawers up, and let's set a spell because We aren't going anywhere just anytime soon, and it's going to be all right.
You didn't say drag your drawers up, did you?
I sure did, honey. I don't care if you got fancy panties or if you've got drawers. Drag them on up and buckle
Set a
up. No,
spell.
no,
Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now. Here.
you're playing my theme music, you know.
So it's New York State. Almost every county has closed their schools until April 10th.
Wow.
Yep. Our county
Well,
just closed their schools until April 10th.
I think that if they haven't, they're about to here. But all the universities, everything was told to pack up and go home. They'll be going solely online after an extra week of spring break. Now,
Hmm.
if they send my husband home from work, all I can say is I'm gonna be melting down and running screaming down the street naked barking at people if all three of us have to be home for 2 weeks together. All that togetherness kill somebody, and I'm sure it's not gonna be me.
Oh boy. Your husband's going to be home for what, a month?
Oh, I don't know. They haven't done it yet. But if they do, I'm just saying, I'm not sure if this house is big enough for all three of us. We shall see.
I'm
Somebody
praying
might not
for
emerge alive.
I'm praying for your husband.
For my husband, excuse me, I think you need to be praying for me. You know, the mamas always get the short end of the stick.
RM John says Southern California schools are closed for 3 to 5 weeks.
Wow.
I heard some interesting information about the death rate. Everybody's going on and on about the death rate. But I think I heard it on Pirate Radio last night with James Hour and Chris Mack that the death rate is so high right now, well, in the United States, because of that one nursing home in Washington. Is that correct?
That's what I've heard.
One person brought it back to a nursing home, and that's where all of the deaths that occurred in Washington State happened.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, they tested the staff, and there was 50. I think out of like 64 of them, I believe, that was tested positive of the staff at that home, senior home.
Okay.
And so in addition to what 30 or 35 deaths out of there, I do think that though I will tell you this, having been the caregiver to my mother the last 5 years before she died, it was with a wicked twist of my heart that I heard POTUS say that we needed to shut the nursing homes down for their own good. While I realize that's true, and yes, we do need to do it, the loneliness, the fear, the panic, them not, the family's not there to check and make sure they're doing okay. That just sends chills down my spine because that is going to be so traumatic for so many families, so many old people. So we really just need to envelop them in prayer that God will supernaturally comfort them, let them just not even realize this is going on, or just make it so that they're just at peace with it because I know that they get so fretful so easy. So we really need to be mindful of praying for them and for their families that are going to be worried about them. Because if they told me I could not go see my mama for 2-3 weeks, I'm telling you, I'd have been saying, David, get the rope. We're going up. We're going up the side of the building. If I have to, I'm just saying.
You could still call, right?
You can call and you can FaceTime. We've got so many wonderful technologies now, but the little ones that are not well enough to know how to operate technology and that kind of thing, it just really just breaks my heart. I know we've got to do it, but at the same time, it just really bothers me.
Well, you don't want to risk killing your grandmother or mother or whatever.
No, you cannot. You just cannot.
Right. Although
it's bittersweet, but I think POTUS has been just wonderful. I completely agree with Sean Hannity in his remarks last night, where he was saying that I think that POTUS has just reset the board on how we're going to deal with these kind of things in the future. it only makes sense why they've not done these public-private partnerships before. It not only does it forge, um, I think unity amongst the land. I think it also was very smart of him economically because think about it. Walmart, Target, all these places are huge employers. And with them having government contracts and everything, they're promoting job growth too, or, people having a job right now, not growth, but them being able to have a job. There's going to be some industries that are really going to take off during this time, like, home delivery people and Zoom, apps like Zoom and all that kind of thing. Because a lot of America's business is going to be transferred over that way. I'm already setting up. I'm going to be doing a lot of my enrollments that way for employers that have a problem with me coming in, or maybe their staff are at home now. So there's going to be sectors that may need extra help, while there's other sectors, of course, that are going to fall flat on their feet, like the hospitality network, all those little people that work at banquets and all that. Y'all, they work for either a few cents an hour, depending on tips, or just a very, very, very low wage. I mean, it's barely making it. And if they're not having any conferences, galas, balls, all this stuff that goes on all the time, these people are going to be hit really hard. So I was very encouraged to hear POTUS come out and reassure in their innovative approach, all the people that have gotten involved. I mean, I just think they've been rocking it. And I say we all give POTUS a MAGA shout out to say, way to go, POTUS. We're with you. We're behind you, or right beside you, whichever you want. I'd be right beside him. Y'all might be behind him, though. But I'd be right beside him under his arm. I'd be latched on for dear life. But that aside, we do just, I think we've all got to put our best foot forward, all try to look at the silver linings in this. So I'm excited because it's going to be a time for his leadership skills to shine. I think we're going to be setting some new standards about how these things are approached in the future. There's just a lot of silver linings that are going to come out of this, not just all bad ones. So we got to look at it that way. What do you think, Jane?
Well, a couple of things. First off, I just saw that the CDC, the Obama holdover CDC, whatever he is, public servant, that allowed the cruise ship in. Mm-hmm. Number one, he should face criminal charges. He disobeyed a direct order.
Yep.
So he should face all those people that died in that nursing home. That's on him. Period.
I agree.
Second thing is, I'm going to throw a little wet blanket out there. I kind of disagreed, and you can blame the black pill boogie bumper for this, but when Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham were saying that it's no worse than the flu, I understand what they were doing, but they were way over to one side. The media was way over to the other side. There wasn't some common sense in the middle. So it's not the same as the flu. It's different than the flu, but...
No, he didn't just say that. He did acknowledge that it could have, the L strain could have more severe repercussions. But I think what's important to see is they're trying to counteract the negative press out there.
Right.
And if they overstate it just a little bit, I'm not in fine fault, because you know what? There's a lot of people out there that need encouragement right now, that need us to see the cheerier outlook. It don't really matter, because what he thinks doesn't determine the truth. But if it encourages people to be of good cheer and not panic as much, I'm okay with it. Just saying.
I'm not. You can't be all. Okay. You can't be all this way. You gotta come back a little bit. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
The media is. The
Normally,
media.
I would agree with you.
The media is just out of their minds right now.
They are
causing panic, causing fear, and I know what Hannity and Ingram and people, and they don't claim to be media or journalists. They're opinion people. They admit it.
He says he's a talk show host.
They were trying to counteract it, so they were going way over to the other side we need more in the middle, and I think the president's been more in the middle than both sides.
Oh, I think POTUS has been in the middle, and I think he's been great. But we'll just have to disagree on that one because I'm okay with it. This one,
Yeah.
probably I'm not usually in favor of, but I don't. I just don't think that. I think that there are so many people. I made a remark. There was a girl. There's a girl, Annie Delgado, on that's been on Fox. It's been, in the media. Y'all may know her. I've had several very nice conversations with her. Didn't know her exact politics. I know she's not really, really conservative, but I thought she's kind of in the middle, and have had some great conversations with her in the past. She put out a really negative tweet about, how everybody's blaming POTUS because he's doing such a poor job, blah, blah, blah. And that she was out somewhere in public and they were all blaming POTUS for it. And so, it's funny. I had the exact opposite experience standing in Sam's yesterday, which I did. And she came back and basically called me a liar and told me that I was delusional. And then all of her little cult people jumped on me. And you saw, they thought they thought I was hiding behind you. But all that to say,
they thought I was Doc Martin.
Nannies out there that I think us positive people have got our place right now. So we'll just disagree on that one this time. That's okay. I still love you anyway.
Well, what I'm seeing is, number one, you can't compare death rates of the flu versus this.
No, because the flu is much worse.
Well, no, you can't even say that because we don't even know the end result of this yet, right?
Well, we don't, but to date, it is worse. To date, what we know.
But doing that does a disservice to everything. Everybody needs to stop, calm down, wash your damn hands, be responsible. If you're sick, here's a perfect example. I know somebody who had the confirmed flu that went to work after everybody went home because they had to get their work done. Are you serious? you showed up to work after everybody left?
That's saying that you think that you're more important or your work is more important than anybody else's, and that blows
That's
me
the problem.
away.
That's how people are. These people on the cruise ship know there was a good chance they were infected, and they just went about their daily lives. They really didn't give a rat's patootie. They just went. Oh well.
One man in Florida that they told him he was sick, and he went to a dance.
Yes.
And was trying to intentionally spread it. And you go, to me, people like that, there should be some kind of legal consequence. I know they can arrest them because there's not a law per se on that, but I think they ought to find something. I'd be sitting parked around his doorstep waiting on him to do one thing wrong, and I'd nab his ass. What I'd do. But I'm Southern.
There are a lot of people doing stupid things right now. So
I'm Southern, so I'm willing to wait for revenge.
Thank you very much.
We have to come back to reality here. Everybody's way off listening to the media. I mean, rumors are flying rampant right now. I got a message that all the schools in a different school district than mine were closed.
Thank you very much.
Guess what? False. Never happened. Although they did close all the schools for a month, about a month. But during that day, the schools were not closed and kids were not sent home. But that rumor was flying all over the place because somebody just said, "Oh, I had heard." So we got to take a step back.
Wash hands. Mama didn't raise you in a barn.
Poor guy last night for just a single damn roll of toilet paper. Boy, that guy was frustrated. He goes, are all you people crazy? He couldn't get a single roll of toilet paper.
I'm telling you, I have a fried green tomatoes moment to share on Speakeasy tonight. My sister and I have agreed. She had a horrendous experience yesterday, and mine was the day before, and we both agreed we're probably going to have to start going out in pairs because people are starting to get violent. I mean, it's scary. Seriously. I just can't even believe it. But we've got to be the light and we've got to be the voice of reason. And that means we've got to set the example, because sometimes the best, you know, advice that you can give somebody is the way you live. So if we try to all be calm and go about our business and look at things with a positive attitude, then even if it's a sucky situation, at least it's not going to be as bad because of our attitude. Hopefully we can all, flock together.
I see people saying that they lost their connection, but I don't see anything wrong here.
D-Live says streamer is offline.
Must be something wrong with D-Live because everything looks like it's going okay. Let me see.
Periscope came back on, they said. I guess it had stopped for just a minute. Somebody else, I think it was Patriot Suplex, was having trouble earlier. Hang on, guys. We're going to try to get it back.
It's only D-Live right now. Periscope,
and
YouTube is fine.
Hi, Stefan.
Twitch is fine too. It's only D-Live right now.
Yeah, maybe it'll come back on.
Yep.
So, Yankee, in the meantime, do you want to go ahead and get started with some of our other things, or do we need to wait until we get that back online?
There's nothing I can do to get D-Live back up. Yeah.
RM John said Sam's Club, 6 a.m. this morning, 1,000 people were waiting for it to open.
Jeez. Come on, people.
Go out and come back in.
I'm not saying not have a couple.
No, on the Periscope.
I'm not saying don't have a couple of weeks or even 3 weeks or even a month worth of food to get by and water. But how much damn toilet paper can you use in a month?
I don't know. I mean, are they expected to get diarrhea with it or what?
Oh, good grief.
And I'm sorry, if you're a prepper like me, you could not pay me to get out with the amateurs anymore. I'm sorry. It's like at Christmas time when amateurs take over the mall. Oh, Lord have mercy.
I'm trying to reset D-Live.
Trash.
I'm trying to reset D-Live right now. We'll see what happens.
Okay, guys. Hold your mouth right where we can get back on.
D-Live's the only one that's not on, so.
I was telling our Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch audiences, y'all hold your mouth right where we get back on D-Live.
See, my D-Live is running, but I don't know if it's just behind.
Mine's not. It says streamers offline.
Let's see if D-Live pops back up. It's only D-Live. I know Periscope says it's running. Twitch says it's running, and so is YouTube's running too.
So Phil is going to be working on that. And, I decided that we'd have to put a note on the front door. It says, unannounced visitors are not welcome. We're not sick. We just don't trust you with our toilet paper. What do you think about that one, Yang? We're going to start limiting around here.
Ooh, I think D-Live is the only one down. Yep, everything else is working. So hopefully it comes back up. We shall see. Periscope and YouTube are going, and so is Twitch.
Okay, so maybe they'll combine us on there, but we better get rolling because we've got limited time.
I'm going to say that's just a D-Live issue right now. So there's not a lot I can do. We'll see what happens. Okay.
Yeah, Fritzy, it could. Remember, if you're Q reader, Q did intimate that at one point everything's going to go down. Because I saw an article today. I think it was Maria Bartiromo that was warning that the internet could slow down because there's going to be so much business transferred to the internet. People are going to be trying to do it all on the internet. So I think that we're going to see a lot of really strange things coming our way. Queen Snow Bunny, are you muted? With the sink sprayer? Yes, I did, Marie. There was a man with the sink sprayer hooked up to the toilet. Well, last week, remember, Phil was trying to get rid of his, what was it, 20 grit sandpaper?
Sandpaper, yeah. No takers yet. Come on. I got a lot of sandpaper. 60 grit. That's all I got left.
I told Neil, UK Neil, that I had 2 rolls of toilet paper and half a bottle of spray sanitizer that I'm trading for a 68 Camaro. DM me with bids.
Let me try to reset D Live again. Something's wrong with D Live. All right, sorry.
Not cooperating.
Hopefully it comes back up.
Well, I hope so, because you missed 2 of my funny jokes.
I dodged a bullet there. Okay, first up is Breitbart. Republican Judson Sapp running to boost Trump Republicans in Congress. Where is he running? Florida conservative and 3rd Congressional District Republican candidate Judson Sapp told Breitbart News Saturday that he hopes to increase the number of Trump Republicans in Congress. So did he win? Did he win the primary? Doesn't say.
I'm assuming from what I was reading. But he looked like an up and coming fella.
This was March 8th, so we'll have to go back. I have to go back through and create more memes for the oh, D Live went back up, folks. I have to create more memes after the last 2 Super Tuesdays. I'm a little bit behind, so.
Well, I can't imagine why.
Yeah, everything's
2 jobs, having 3 shows, and raising a family. I'm saying that ought to keep you just a little on the busy side.
John Solomon, Supreme Court hands big border win to Trump, allows Remain in Mexico policy to stay in effect. Yeah, so much for you, appeals court, federal appeals court. Supreme Court preserves Remain in Mexico border defense. That's why the border crossings have gone down 70% right there.
That's right.
The wall that's been built, plus this, and the Mexican army stopping most of these illegals from crossing.
Yeah, did you hear that I thought it was so rich, pot meat kettle when Mexico was saying that they were thinking about closing the border because they didn't want us coming over there. That was rather odd hearing that come out of their mouths.
So the Supreme Court has told the administration that it can keep sending migrants back to Mexico pending the final decision in a lawsuit against the Remain in Mexico policy, which is probably some Democrat leftist-run organization that got it stopped by a federal judge, probably an Obama holdover.
Mm-hmm. In fact, I know they had done that, and they thought that I understand all of the immigration lawyers that are down there working with them on the border were gleeful. They said that they had them saying they appear, they watch.
Hey, you subscribed.
Legislation.
Does it feel good?
Thank you, David, for subscribing.
I was going, what is that? But anyway, they watch, and the second that ruling came out, they said that there was immigrants at the border going, let us in. We know that they changed the law, and you have to let us in.
Yeah.
Well, no, we don't, darling. So I was very glad, because I think that that's going to get overruled in the long term.
John, well, every single thing has been overruled at the Supreme Court anyway, but they keep trying.
Well, of course they do.
Anyway.
Just think of how many they can get in the meantime, even if they don't win in the long run. They think every illegal they can get in this country is another vote for them. So they don't care if it's 1, 50, a million, 10 million. They wouldn't care as long as they hold on to their power. So that tells you right there, don't vote for them. Vote red.
John Solomon, feds arrest hundreds and U.S. raid of alleged Mexican drug cartel.
Yeah, there is a lot of pressure, a lot of things going on with that drug cartel.
Let me see where where were they arrested? Most of them.
Now I know they got about 600. I heard in California, and then I think that there was
Here it
another
is.
one I read. I can't remember which one he was writing about.
Authorities think that the gang operates what the AP described as a drug distribution hubs in several major U.S. cities, including Atlanta, Chicago, Houston, Los Angeles, and New York.
Amazing.
I'm guessing they don't want you to know where 600 of them. Doesn't say where. Nope, they just across the. It just says across the U.S. That's it.
I did hear where they were considering changing their product line. Instead of selling drugs, they're thinking about going into the hand sanitizing business.
Instead of selling drugs. Hey, there's people out there making, trying to make their own out of whatever they can get their hands on.
You can as long as you use 60% alcohol. There's lots of recipes. You can go find it on YouTube real easy. But the key is if you use anything less than 60% alcohol, it is not going to work.
Who's this? I never heard of Whatafinger video. Governments and big tech target pedophiles. Oh, the Epoch Times. How governments and big tech are targeting pedophiles. Let me see. Powerful testimony from the Phoenix 11. A group of child sex abuse survivors kicked off the announcement of a new collaboration between governments and tech companies to stop the online sexual abuse of children. Last year, we all took a bold step to overcome the fears about ourselves, to band together, become a force for change. Okay, how are they doing the change, though? Let me read a little bit here. Hold on one second.
Are you perusing it? All right, Yankee, don't keep us in suspense.
I'm trying to read through this. It looks like they're trying to break through the end-to-end encryption, which I have to read more about this because this is worrisome to me. If you're busting through people's encryption, yeah, we're getting into FISA abuse territory here. Don't like it if that's what they're doing.
And you know what? We do need to reach out, and everybody needs to let POTUS know that we need him to veto that.
Yes.
We need him to veto, but he is asking us. He asked us on Twitter. So let your voice be known. We have griped for years because nobody asked us what we thought or what we wanted, and when they did, they totally ignored us. We finally have a leader in the House that will, of the United States, that will is seeking the will of the people. So let your voices be heard, or else you have no room to gripe when he doesn't do what you want him to do.
I think both you and I, Doc, agree that even though they're saying they're using it to target pedophiles, there's grave concerns about privacy there.
Yes, and you know that it does not matter through history.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we give them a tool, they misuse it.
Absolutely.
It is a human condition. So we have to always have very strict parameter and people to oversee these things, where there has to be information that is vetted, and that it has to go through several channels so that it makes it harder and harder, and only apply to foreigners, not to the United States citizens. Sorry.
You
Keep
know,
us safe another way.
I know a lot of people don't like him most of the time, but Rand Paul was 100% right about the Patriot Act.
He was. He surely was.
100%.
I don't always love him, but I do. I appreciate his sentiment, and I appreciate where I see he's coming from as a libertarian.
He was the
And
only
there
one.
are ways that I do agree with him, but there's a lot of ways that I don't. So
He was
I
the only
appreciate
one. He was the only one, Doc, that was saying that it will be abused, and lo and
Yes,
behold,
sir.
they used
It
it to
was.
spy on Trump. How many
right.
years? Not even 10 years later, they used it to spy on U.S. citizens. Exactly what he said was going to happen.
Exactly. I'm with you.
So this one right here, yeah, they don't write laws to protect themselves that will expose themselves. They write laws that will hurt ordinary citizens. And this is one of them. You're telling me that the FBI can be trusted now? Nah, I don't think so.
And I'm sorry, I heard somebody else say this week. I can't remember who it was, but I'm in agreement.
Mhm.
I appreciate the fact that the rank and file of a lot of these agencies are really good people. I've worked with the FBI in my prior career to insurance, and many of them are very, very fine patriot people that want to serve their country, but not enough of them were willing to come up, stand up as one united voice when they saw what their upper management were doing. I know they probably felt hopeless and helpless, but there had to have been a way. I'm sorry. So I just think that we need to reorganize it and the CIA and really change things up. And I think Curtis has got a grip on it. I think he's got plans for that.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to veto this fight. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice here.
I
FISA.
think we tell him we wanted to.
Yeah, I this whole FISA process, I don't care what they put in there as a safeguard. It's going to happen again.
It is.
You
And
just
about
can't
the
trust
fact
them.
that the judges didn't jump up and down and scream and hoot and
No.
holler when they found out that they had been had, either leads me to believe that they were part of it or something, because that's not right. There's something not right.
Right.
Just in Denmark, we're going to see how all that shakes out. I think there's going to be a lot more come to light about all that.
Another one from John Solomon, former Hollywood mogul. Oh, we know about him. Weinstein got 23 years.
Woohoo! I think, you know what? That not only is a great day for ne'er-do-wells around the world to get a little taste. I bet there's a lot of people in Hollywood that are going, if they can get him, they might could get me.
Especially if your last name starts with a C and starts with a first name H. Middle name R. Notice how I jumbled that up so she can't find me.
And did you? And if you think about it,
I don't want to kill myself. By the way, disclaimer.
There was really. There was a really Aaron carried it. Excuse me, I cannot speak tonight. Aaron covered it on 80s Aaron show on Patriot Supplies this afternoon, and they were talking about how much the odds are that all these celebrities are all of a sudden having to quarantine themselves or shelter in place and all this, and that it struck over 1% of Hollywood people already. Think about how many of us don't even know anybody that's. I don't know anybody. I don't know of anybody that knows of anybody that has it. So for there to be such a majority, even though they travel, I do understand that. They were figuring the odds on it, and it was astronomical that so many celebrities have already quarantined themselves. So I'm wondering if they're thinking that that's going to protect them from anything that might possibly be coming. Just a thought. I'm wondering.
John Solomon, was Trump right about China? Yes, he was. The coronavirus has exposed global supply chain failures and the challenges of America's dependence on Beijing for everything from drugs to hospital gowns. Yep.
That is the darn truth.
I've been saying that during the Tea Party days, long before Trump came around. Look at all our empty factories. Someday we're going to pay the price for that. We're gonna pay the price.
I have bought American-made cars for as long as I can remember. And the reason I did that was because I wanted my neighbors to have a job. And I've heard everything from all my friends going, oh, Denise, it didn't even though American-made cars aren't made in America anymore, they ship the parts in, they do this, they do that. And I said, you know what? That's as good as I can do, is try to buy American so that my neighbors will have a job. That's all I can do, and the rest is up to the good Lord to work it out. And here now we're seeing, this is the silver lining. This is giving a chance for the whole wide world to see that globalism isn't what it's cracked up to be. That depending on another country for anything that is determinant of your standard of living is wrong. And I think America is getting woke up. They won't release the name, but they've already said that we are running short on an antibiotic or a drug that Americans need, but they don't want to tell it which one it is because they don't want a big run on it. So this is our opportunity to set things right. And I think that it's going to encourage people, as POTUS, he's been trying to warn us for 3 years that our dependence on foreign nations in China and globalism isn't what it's cracked up to be. And here we get a first-hand taste of it, don't we?
Racist, bigot, xenophobe, homophobe, blah, 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 bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, I got called all that yesterday on my Twitter line. I'm telling you, they're vicious. They were making.
It's back on.